Friday. I'm Kenesha Dees with your Fox 54 Weekend Review. We hope you're having an enjoyable and safe Independence Day holiday weekend. Here's what's coming up this weekend on our program. Making changes. The city of Decatur moves forward on a third-party review of the police department's policies, procedures, and interculture. This follows the death of Steve Perkins. Making the Bed. A North Alabama collective works to build furniture for children who might otherwise not have a bed to sleep on. And Making It Pop. The man responsible for stunning 4th of July fireworks shows in Huntsville is making sure the next generation of pyrotechnic showstoppers know how it's done. That's all just ahead. As we rewind the clock to last Friday, we'll start with the road well traveled. Clinton Avenue has been heavily trafficked passageway for many Huntsville residents, but work is beginning to transform the street and not just the asphalt you drive on. We'll start first with one of the most traveled roads in the Rocket City. You've been there, Clinton Avenue. City leaders say it's due for a new look. As our Jasmine Bird tells us, this plan includes a better quality of life.
Some big changes could be headed to Clinton Avenue, and it's more than just road improvements.
I think it's going to be a good shot in the arm for the Low Mill, West Huntsville community. This is an investment in the central area of the city.
Huntsville City Council member Bill Kling says the central area of Huntsville has come a long way.
There have been some good things that have taken place in the past, but also I remember rescue missions, drug dealings were very prevalent in that area. Now there's been some good things that have taken place. And for example, if you go down Seminole Drive, go into Low Mill, you're going to find there are some very nice homes that have been constructed. Many of them are selling for over $300,000 each.
So what other new additions could this new refreshing bring to the Rocket City?
One of the most important projects we can have is to make sure you have a new nearby grocery store, and that's going to be one of the things taking place. There could be some new apartment construction, primarily for elderly, for people in the service industries that'll be affordable, and possibly we may even have large numbers of nurses from Huntsville Hospital also having a place to reside at.
Kling says a large amount of landscaping drainage work, a greenway walkway, and recreation area could also be expected.
Everyone at Low Mill, this is to make their neighborhood nicer, more walkable, more retail, and things that'll help enhance the value.
The city agreed to an engineering design contract with Barge Design Solutions for traffic safety and pedestrian improvements.
Whatever we can be doing for our existing neighborhoods to make them nicer, that makes Huntsville just that much of a better place to live in.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle declared as the winner in the 2024 municipal election. The Huntsville City Council voted that he will continue serving in his post for a 5th term starting November 4th. This comes after Mayor Battle was the only candidate for mayor after qualifications for municipal elections ended on Tuesday. Time to make a big splash in Guntersville. H1 Unlimited Boat Racing is in town for Hydro Fest. Fox 54 reporter Gabe Glassman got an early look and has a preview of this year's high adrenaline event.
Boats like the ones you see behind me can go up to 200 miles per hour, and they are on showcase this weekend in Guntersville for Hydro Fest. It's an event that comes to Lake Guntersville once a year.
We have tons of festivals year-round in this area, but this is the only on-the-water event that you can experience something like this.
We always look forward to coming down here. The water is fantastic. The race course is big. It's one of the fastest we ever run on, and so we all look forward to just coming down and seeing how fast these things will go.
The boats you see quickly getting up to speed thanks to an engine fit for the occasion.
They're helicopter engines, and they'll go over 200 miles an hour in the straightaways. We set a course record here last year, qualifying at 171 mile an hour average.
It's just mind-boggling a little bit how fast they can go. It's just interesting to see how they took that engine and put it into this hydroplane boat.
It's not just a beautiful sight on the water.
But here comes a couple of teammates side by side.
Marshall County tourism officials say HydroFest also brings in tens of thousands of people each year from all over the country and around $3.5 million of economic impact.
We bring about 20,000 people to this area from well over almost 30 states and even out of the country.
This race is known as the Great Southern Hospitality, and you don't really experience it until you come down. We're from the Northwest, and we come down here, and it's just unbelievable how nice everyone is and how helpful. And when we get to go to the other side where the spectators are and meet everybody, it's one of the highlights of the weekend.
HydroFest 2024 is happening this weekend. You can find more information on our website, fox54.com.
I'm Kim McCoy. Lack of childcare access has become a recurring theme as many working parents look for solutions to find compatible care with today's scheduling needs. 2 years ago, Mazda Toyota Manufacturing joined with Tutris to provide their workers with the bridge to care, leading both to recognition in Washington. Take a look. In the current workforce, the needs for employees have changed.
We knew that to better serve that workforce, we had to listen to them and what they needed from us.
And one of those needs?
One of the things that quickly rose to the surface was the need for affordable, reliable childcare.
Childcare has been a struggle for many working parents looking to find care that matched a more unconventional work schedule.
It's hard to find childcare Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Good luck on the weekends, right?
So 2 years ago, Mazda Toyota Manufacturing teamed up with Tutris to provide workers with access to innovative childcare services.
They were sort of this brand new innovative way to A, connect our team members with childcare, but B, provide a subsidy to those team members.
So maybe it's $200 or $250 a month that an employer wants to contribute to help drive down the cost. And so that's what we do with partnerships nationwide.
In the past 2 years, a significant benefit was highlighted.
We looked at our overall attrition and it was dropping by 11%. And we know that was not just childcare benefits, right? That was raises and bonuses. It was us kind of improving our culture and listening to our team.
But when you factor in this next fact,
female attrition dropped by 20%, so 9% more than average. We're retaining those women at a higher rate, so that likely means that childcare benefit is having some impact.
And because of that impact, both MTM and Tutris got to share in that success in Washington at the inaugural National Childcare Innovation Summit.
It really was about how childcare, affordable childcare, impacts economic development, and MTM, we know that, we've seen that. Here in Huntsville.
Childcare has long been an issue in this country, and I think we're quickly learning, especially in the last 3 years, that it is a business issue.
With implementations of laws like House Bill 358 in this last legislative session, the need to prioritize this issue is imperative.
Alabama is working on some great state initiatives to help incentivize businesses to help their working parents with childcare solutions, and that's great. But as we saw with the presidential debate, when both candidates were given not one but two opportunities to talk about childcare, neither one of them really took the opportunity. So I think businesses need to realize they can't hold their breath. We can't wait for the federal government to step in. They need to search out solutions.
All right, it's a cover-up you'll be pleased to learn about. In this edition of Fox 54's Verify, Chase McPherson tells us more about some renovations going on at Huntsville Utilities substation.
Since at least March, curious Huntsville residents have been asking about a project going on at the Huntsville Utilities substation located at the corner of Pulaski Pike and Sparkman Drive. Reddit users have been wondering if the large water tank clad in tarp and other materials was going to be torn down, with some saying they would often hear loud noises from the work zone. User Tunk256 suggested in March the green-tiled water tank was being painted, with another user saying it's, quote, probably where they plan to paint a mural. So let's verify. Is a mural being painted over the water tank at the Sparkman substation? Our sources are Arts Huntsville and District 1 Councilmember Devin Keith. And the answer is yes, a mural is indeed being installed on the shell housing the water tank. In fact, you can see that's the case the same way we did, by driving past the substation, where painting is already underway. Arts Huntsville tells us local artist Peter Lucker is painting a piece he calls Jubilation, which, when completed, will feature children in bold colors leaping for joy against an azure sky backdrop. Councilman Devin Keith is credited with with helping tie the idea of a mural with an already planned renovation of the substation. He calls it a fantastic example of how citizen engagement can lead to positive change, and that the mural embodies one of the city's public art goals, to add whimsy and delight to everyday spaces. Arts Huntsville says the mural is expected to be complete in the fall of this year. Huntsville Utilities will also paint the barrier walls of the substation to match the new theme. With your Verify, I'm Chase McPherson.
I'm Simon Williams. We start right here in Huntsville, where one local church volunteered to build beds for the needy. Makes you really think about what goes into a good night's sleep.
Don't think you can catch some shut-eye in these conditions. A hot warehouse floor with tools whirring and literally plenty of moving parts. But that's what it takes to ensure some kids in need get a good night's sleep of their own.
You can't say enough about what it means for a child to have their own bed. Not only do they get a good night's sleep, which automatically helps them do better in school, have more focus, have more attention, but also it gives them that sense of dignity and pride and just having a space that's completely theirs.
Sleep in Heavenly Peace is a national organization with 3 of its 8 Alabama branches in the Tennessee Valley. They operate entirely off donations and are fully staffed by volunteers, like Ann Kepner. Sunday afternoon, they hosted volunteers from Latham Church in South Huntsville.
This is a community problem, and Sleep in Heavenly Peace offers a community solution, and that is alive and well in the hearts of our volunteers.
Over 70 volunteers came from Latham, a number well above average, says Kepner. Latham sees it as part of an active ministry.
We just want to be God's hands and feet, and this gives us the opportunity to do that. It just gives me an opportunity to make a difference in people's lives.
By the time the day is done, they'll get at least 40 beds built.
To just be out here on a Sunday and give back to those who are less fortunate and really help in the community and make a difference to the people it matters most to is really awesome.
Today's event is a reminder that there's so much that goes into a good night's sleep, and that it's something everyone deserves.
Yesterday marked 9 months since former Decatur police officer shot and killed Steve Perkins. And questions linger after last month's gag order hearing of Mac Marquette, the now former Decatur police officer charged in Perkins' death. During the hearing, it was revealed that Decatur police lieutenant shared body camera footage from the night of the shooting with the Huntsville Police Department for the purposes of, quote, editing the video due to graphic content. Why was this video sent to another city's police department? We took that question to Huntsville City Councilman Devin Keith.
First of all, let me say, anything that happens between the citizens and the police should be as transparent as possible. I think most importantly is making sure that once the final report comes out, the citizens of Huntsville have every answer involving it.
Keith said Huntsville City Council is aware of what was said in the gag order hearing testimony. It's unknown by City Council or the public at this time if there was or currently is an internal investigation by Huntsville Police about the footage. If and when an investigation is confirmed, that is to be reported to Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle and the City Council. We also spoke to Councilman Keith about a project he's really excited about in his district. It's the mural going up over the water tank at Sparkman Drive's utility substation. We first told you about it last night. The mural is called Jubilation, and when completed later this fall, it'll feature a bright display of children jumping for joy amid a blue sky. Keith says that while the downtown area may be known for its art, he wants to be sure North Huntsville is part of the conversation as well.
This will be one of many. There are other water tanks that will more than likely have some names and some art on them around Huntsville, but we figured we would take the lead to show them how beautiful it could be.
Arts Huntsville says artist Peter Lucker was suggested for the work after he pitched a concept for a project at the Shirley Center that caught the eye of the city's public art committee. See more about the project at FOX54.com. And another exciting project coming to the district is one community's new skate park. It'll be located in North Huntsville's Stoner Park. The park will feature a state-of-the-art open-air skating rink. Councilman Keith says the city has just approved a contract to begin the construction of the rink. He also shared how impressive and impactful this park will be for the community.
It will be the largest skating rink in the state of Alabama. To me, because I'm biased, it will also be the best in the nation. But it will be able to hold about 200 skaters at one time. We're talking about fans, air, DJ booth, bathrooms. You'll be able to throw large events. And it is the catalyst for the redevelopment of Stoner Park that will happen over the next 2 years.
Councilman Keith says he anticipates the park to be open in early spring of next year. Well, when you think of places to retire, your mind probably goes to Florida. But a new study may be having you rethink about moving out of state. That's because Alabama ranks 4th among the least expensive states to retire in, according to a study done by Lending Tree subsidiary Deposit Accounts. Several things make Alabama an ideal place for retirement, such as having no state income tax on Social Security or pensions, as well as having a lower cost of living compared to the East and West coasts.
Decatur City Council held its regularly scheduled meeting tonight. The biggest item was the last on the agenda, approving the third-party review into the city's police department. Resolution number 24-140 approves master services agreement with Green Research and Technology, LLC. It's the Huntsville-based investigation firm led by former Huntsville police officer and U.S. Secret Service agent Tory Green. The review begins immediately and will be completed by January 1st of next year. The council voted 4-0 to pass it. Councilmember Hunter Pepper was not present and therefore did not vote. He tells Fox 54 he was out of town and was not aware this was going to happen tonight. Mayor Tab Bowling was there and stayed through the completion of the public comment portion of the meeting. Nearly 22 minutes of public comment preceded the 4-0 approval vote. When asked about whether the review will include interviewing police officers, City Council President Jacob Latner said they will, and that he hopes all involved would be compelled to participate even if it wasn't mandatory.
My intent is for everybody to get behind this and be supportive. If you think that's just my opinion, if you think you've been wronged, like a lot of you have talked to us about, you want this. If you think you've been, things have been said about you that are false, you should get behind this. Right? So everybody should be behind this. So I can't think of a good reason why somebody would not be transparent.
Alabama is one of only 3 states in the country that puts a tax on hearing aids. However, it won't be that way for long. Our Jasmine Bird speaks with a lawmaker who says they've been listening to complaints from Alabamians and will have a solution by this fall.
Last summer, a constituent of mine in Mobile, Alabama contacted me and was surprised to learn that, when he went to go check out, he had health insurance, but he owed $1,000.
Representative Margie Wilcox from Montgomery says she was told $1,000 was the copay and the taxes, and the insurance company did not pay the tax portion.
He was surprised to learn that, and then also told me that if he had just driven to Pascagoula or to Pensacola, 1 hour east or west, he wouldn't have had to pay that tax. So he implored upon me to fix that.
Wilcox filed House Bill 51 to remove state taxes on hearing aids throughout the state.
But when I passed the bill, an amendment was put on there that I could only remove the state's portion of the tax.
After that, Wilcox said it would be left to the individual cities and counties to remove their portion.
So I'm thrilled to say that Madison is the first city that I know of that is seeking to remove that. The state portion will be removed October 1st. If they need a hearing aid before then, I'm sorry, maybe the city of Madison's, their tax will be removed before them. The state portion, I cannot remove until October.
Wilcox says Alabama is one of only 3 states in the U.S. that taxes hearing aids.
So it puts our citizens, our vulnerable citizens, at a particular disadvantage.
An Alabama Department of Rehabilitation Services Commissioner Jane Elizabeth Birdshaw shares that sometimes that particular disadvantage starts in the workforce.
A set of hearing aids that are tuned specifically for a person's needs, individual needs, can run around $6,000, $5,000 to $6,000 for private pay. But when we talk about insurance or Medicaid, even if the actual hearing aids are covered, if they're still taxed, you can imagine that that's still hundreds of dollars. And so if a person is living check to check and needs that income, then that hundreds of dollars can make the difference in whether or not they're able to pay their bills that month.
Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
For many of you, setting off fireworks are in your plans. Fox 54's reporter Gabe Glassman spoke with local officials about how to do so safely and legally.
I just want to make sure that everybody has a safe 4th of July and everybody enjoys it.
The night sky will soon be lit up by fireworks, but before people set off the fuse, there's some important things to take note of, including the law.
In Decatur, there's an ordinance where you can't shoot fireworks within the city.
In the city of Huntsville and the city of Madison, you're not allowed to light off fireworks.
If it's an aerial device or it makes a loud bang, we do not allow it.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission says 9,700 people were treated in ERs last year for firework injuries, 2/3 of those happening in the weeks before and after the 4th of July last year. So how can you stay safe when using fireworks?
You want to have as long of a fuse as possible.
Make sure you're using the proper sticks to ignite the fireworks with, and of course make sure you're in a well-lit area so you can see the fuse.
They suggest that you do it on a non-combustible surface like concrete or asphalt.
Local officials are also reminding people to make sure the right person is setting fireworks off.
Fireworks are intended to be used by adults only.
Don't let little kids use fireworks, especially if they're not, definitely don't let them use them unattended.
If an adult is partaking in any kind of prescription medicine or alcohol, they shouldn't be using fireworks either.
If you are going to light up fireworks,
you want to be respectful of your neighbors and all that type of stuff.
Don't shoot them off too loud at night because of the noise disturbance. So I would recommend that people don't use them past like 9:30.
Or if you don't want to take the risk but still want to see a great show.
If you want to go see a fireworks show, then go see a professional show.
We definitely recommend going to a fireworks show that's put on by, professionals.
Now there are several fireworks shows happening in our area, including right here in Mid-City. So make sure you check out our website, FOX54.com, for more details. Reporting for Fox 54 News, I'm Kim Glassman.
Before we let you go, a new Miss Alabama has been crowned after a week-long pageant. Abby Stockard, representing Miss Hoover, has the title. Congratulations. She competed against 39 other contestants from across the state. She's a native of Birmingham and a student at Auburn University. Stockard will now prepare to represent Alabama at the Miss America pageant in January. Definitely wishing her a lot of luck. I must say, it is not easy competing in pageants. In my heyday, I did a little bit of pageantry.
Did you?
I did. I was in 2016. I was Miss Black Broward County. Oh, and then
very cool.
Yeah, I first started in pageantry when I was like 13, and then I took a long gap. But yeah, it can be tough.
I personally have never done a pageant.
Really?
Nah, never.
No bodybuilding?
Nah. Do I look like I bodybuild?
Hey, I'm not judging.
Oh, thank you. Nick, anything?
Any
you'd like to?
Any conversation piece?
Yeah.
No, that's real. And I've learned more about these pageants because my girlfriend did them growing up, and these really are like bridges to girls, especially in the younger stages to go to college. So they're really big time scholarship programs.
2 months ago, we introduced you to a veteran who received home renovations from the Bearded Warriors and Home Depot Foundation. Not even a week after construction ended, severe storms damaged parts of his house and the surrounding area back in early May. Today, construction is back on, and our Gabe Glassman has the story.
Think about it. This is the 4th of July, and what better way to say thank you than to come out and help re-roof a home that has been damaged by a tornado here in northern Alabama.
Paul DeAugustine spent 17 years in service, deployed to Iraq, Kuwait, and Afghanistan. The veteran is now medically retired. After having his home renovated in early May, severe storms ravaged the area.
The tornado came in not even a week later, came through, and it just devastated pretty much everything they'd put their hard work into.
What you see now is the damage. Power lines eliminated, buildings crushed by fallen trees. But before Paul could even begin to think,
they contacted us within a couple hours in the morning and checked on us and had somebody out the next day to help.
Before that day was even over, they had everything already in the works. And they said that people are just going to start coming by as they have time.
Tuesday morning, construction crews arrived on scene to start on the house for a second time. For Paul, all he could do is laugh at the situation.
God takes care of you as long as you're faithful, and all you gotta do is laugh. That's all you can do.
Doing anything that we can for the veterans should be on everybody's agenda.
It goes to show not everything in the world has to be negative.
It just shows you how good people are and how people take care of people.
It's been a blessing to him since he's been out of the service, just to have people supporting him.
For me, giving back to the veterans, it just hits home, and it really touches everybody's heart.
There's a lot of bad going on in the world, and sometimes it can get you down, But, you know, the whole situation with Bearded Warriors and Konya Roof and all these other people that have chipped in and Home Depot, like, it just gives you a better faith in humanity. And, you know, it's not all bad out there.
In Hazel Green, I'm Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
Working on the front lines to ensure community safety and security can be tough. But have you ever wondered what it's really like to work as an HPD dispatcher? Tonight, we go behind the scenes. Our Jasmine Bird shows us a day in the life.
We're actually the first point of contact when somebody has an emergency.
And as you could imagine, that alone can come with its own set of challenges.
So we may be talking on the radio, answering the phone, talking to our coworker, trying to get more information. We take that information from the callers, we enter it into our computer-aided dispatch, which is our CAD system, and then we send it over to the dispatchers, and the dispatchers send the officers to where they need to go and who needs help.
In spite of all the chaos, Public Safety Communications Training Coordinator Amy Turner says it's truly like a family environment.
We're brothers and sisters. We fight like brothers and sisters. If you want to be in law enforcement or you want to have something to do with the police department, but you don't want to be the one on the street and the one out in the field, this is the great place.
And full-time dispatcher Elizabeth Holcomb breaks down what a day in the life is really like.
I work nights, so I come in at 6:20 p.m. I clock in, usually put my stuff down at a console, then I log into the computer, usually grab a headset. It usually gets really busy between like 8 and 10 is usually like our peak hours for like second shift.
And if you're looking to make a difference, Holcomb says this could be your special opportunity because HPD is now accepting applications for police dispatchers until August 23rd.
This job made me come out of my comfort zone, and that's one of the best things that I ever did was apply for this job. It gets you like critical thinking, time management. It's one of the best jobs ever.
At the end of the day, we're not the ones out in the field. We're sitting here helping the ones out in the field, along with the citizens of Huntsville.
To learn more, visit fox54.com. In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
North Alabama has a blood shortage, and with people out of town for Independence Day, donations are down this time of year. But that hasn't stopped one Madison woman who shows what it looks like when you give literally all of yourself for a good cause. Our Simon Williams has the story.
If there's a blood donation hall of fame, Juanita Florio is a first ballot nominee. She's made it to Life South's Madison Boulevard location every 2 to 3 weeks for the 10 years since she moved to the area.
I have to have a blanket because I will get cold in a little bit. And I have a book, I have my phone, and have my drinks, and I'm all set.
Florio estimates she's donated nearly 17 gallons of blood so far, but even she still looks away when the needle goes in her arm.
Yeah, 17 gallons of platelets, which seems like a lot of gallons. It really is easy. You know that your blood and your platelets, they're going to be used somewhere, and there's such a shortage right now that you know it's definitely going somewhere.
Florio's latest round of donation comes at a crucial time.
When high schools are out, people are on vacation, they're taking trips. Blood donation may not be at the forefront of their mind, and we do see a dip in our donor flow.
That's Becky Cecil with Life South. She says right now there's a shortage of all blood types, and the Huntsville hospital system is on back order.
And if we don't have those products in place, there's not a plan B. You can't synthetically make blood, so we need to make sure we have what they need in place before they need it.
With such dire need, this week, Life South is running a All-American Donor Days promotion until July 6th, where donors get a $25 gift card and a t-shirt. If you give double red blood cells and platelets, you get a $45 gift card.
Hopefully you won't ever need it, so it's nice to know that you have it for someone else.
So while you're off from work this holiday weekend, think of Juanita and consider donating blood, because every drop counts. In Madison, Simon Williams, Fox 54 News.
It's starting to become a tradition around here. Another Rocket City Trash Panda has been selected for the All-Star Futures game. Good evening and welcome to sports. Rocket City pitcher Caden Dana is the latest to get the nod for the game. The righty is the top-ranked Los Angeles Angels prospect and is now the 91st overall prospect in baseball by MLB.com. Dana is the 5th Trash Panda to be selected for the Futures game in franchise history. You can watch the game on MLB Network on July 13th. All right.
We can just do a multitude of different things with these drones.
An alternative to going boots on the ground for an emergency, getting a bird's eye view.
It helps us to get the job done on our side in a way that it helps to keep us safe.
Drones are used by hundreds of police and fire rescue departments in America, including Huntsville. Axon says around 1,400 police departments in the U.S. use drones, and they're utilized for several different reasons.
It allows first responders who are responding to a scene to get a drone out of the back of their vehicle, get the drone set up, fly in the DroneSense application, and then handle any kind of response that they're flying for.
When we do our missions such as search and rescue, being able to use your thermal imaging cameras.
It allows us to open up roadways if we're doing crash crime scene reconstructions much faster.
Even during tornado events, if we need to get up and get a bird's eye view, we're able to do that with the drones.
We also have the ability to have situation awareness over major events.
They can even be used in hazmat operations, when the only way to get a look at the scene is from the air.
It provides a lot of different, beneficial aspects to help us with our everyday duties.
Another layer of safety is another benefit for first responders. The National Fire Protection Association says over 65,000 firefighter injuries have been in 2022, a third of those happening on scene.
Our job is very dynamic, but we also want to stay safe in what we do. If we got ways that we can kind of mitigate any situation where it keeps us safe, then we want to use it.
The drones are just a massive opportunity for public safety to be able to utilize this technology in a safer and more efficient manner.
In Huntsville, I'm Gabe Glossman, Fox 54 News.
There's a new tool for job seekers in Alabama. It's called Go Build Alabama Job Board. As our Jasmine Bird explains, the tool is helping workers connect with career opportunities in the construction industry and beyond. She tells us more about it.
This year, we're looking at close to almost 5,000 new construction jobs in the state of Alabama.
And thanks to Go Build Alabama Job Board, they'll be easier to find.
This is an opportunity for us to add to the services that we have for the public and contractors out there to help them connect people with jobs that are available.
Alabama Construction Recruitment Institute Executive Director Jason Phelps says they're about 30 days into the launch of the job board, and it's very user-friendly.
So for a career seeker, they just need to put in some directory information and verify an email address so that they can connect to the employers. Once they've done that, they can actually start applying for jobs that are listed on the job board.
And eventually, other job positions beyond construction could also be listed.
So as we move forward in the future, don't be surprised to see a commercial contractor posting some of their administrative or supervision jobs there.
Phelps says another thing to note about commercial industrial construction.
Generally speaking, it's going to have higher pay wages, it's going to have benefits, and for those entry-level jobs, generally speaking, there are going to be access to career development and advancement going forward. So it's really the trifecta.
And on August 8th, that opportunity will expand to an in-person hiring event right here in the Rocket City.
We are piloting or starting out with right here in the Huntsville area, August 8th at the JC's Community Building. So, and this is really just taking that online presence of the job board and let's do it in person and make some of those face-to-face connections.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
In just 2 days, Braden Booth is off to college. The top baseball prospect in the state of Alabama will go play at Mississippi State, and he brings with him serious accolades to Starkville. Among the latest is the Gatorade Alabama Baseball Player of the Year award. But Booth will be the first to tell you that he doesn't get to where he is now as a player or a person without Palmer Park in Madison. And today he made good on that, awarding a $1,000 grant to the Miracle League of Madison. The organization will turn Palmer Park Fields 0 and 1 into an ADA accessible complex with a field, dugout, and bathroom to serve people with intellectual and physical disabilities. Booth won the money as part of the Gatorade Player of the Year award, and he says this project couldn't mean more to him.
Growing up playing, you never, it's a dream and you never know if it's going to come true or not, and that was one of the things that really resonated with me, just be able to give back to the place that I grew up playing. I believe anybody, no matter their life circumstances, should be able to play the game. I grew up here playing, and the community here is amazing, and it taught me everything I know.
The Miracle League of Madison is just starting out. Fundraising lead Michael McKay said it'll take hundreds of thousands of dollars to get the project done. But for a teenager to take it upon himself to contribute to this cause, it ups the ante.
When a child with a disability tries to play baseball on an uneven surface or loose dirt, it's hard for them to traverse that with a wheelchair or walker. And this will have an even playing surface, ADA accessible dugouts and restrooms and everything else. So you've got a local kid who played at the park, who's thought about this project, that wants to see it become a reality. I think that'll force the hand of some to give it more thought and really contribute to the project to make it a success.
And there it is, while our eyes are on the sky, a fireworks display to cap off the 4th of July at the camp in Mid-City earlier this evening. A dazzling display lighting the night to celebrate America's birthday. A tradition we certainly love to see. It's beautiful on our screen, and I can imagine even more beautiful in person. Well, the man behind tonight's Mid-City show has more than 40 years of experience in putting on fireworks displays here in North Alabama. While he is still directing shows, his biggest passion now is teaching the next generation. Our Ken McCoy introduces us to Mr. Lynn Broad.
I actually had a friend, his name was Chuck Higgins, who invited me to a civic club meeting in 1980.
One meeting for Lynn Broad.
So I showed up to this meeting of 30 people, and they were talking about July 4th fireworks, which I had been watching at Milton Franks Stadium since I was a kid.
Help enhance the way we see fireworks shows here in North Alabama.
He picked me up in his little pickup truck. We drove up to the gravel quarry, went into Dynamite Shack, and got the explosives and brought it down to Milton Frank. Built the show, and then right before the show started that night, he handed me a flare and said, "I want to teach you how to shoot."
And he's been doing it for over 40 years.
So at that time we had one show, 44 years ago. Today we have 110 shows in North Alabama.
Broad is show director for Pyro Shows of North Alabama, which is putting on shows in Mid-City and other areas around the city tonight. And it all starts with the plan.
The planning process is in several phases. The first is meeting with the customer well in advance of show date to determine what they need, what kind of budget they want to work with, whether or not we need to choreograph the show with a soundtrack that they may provide or one that we may provide.
The fireworks used aren't the typical ones you would find at a stand.
This show will go 300 feet, and it'll rise there in about 2.6 seconds. So when we're choreographing this, we have the explosion time, and we also have the event time, which is two different things.
But Broad's biggest passion is teaching.
At my age, I really focus on training new people. So when I come to an event like this, I'll bring in new recruits and a couple of old salty hands, and we teach what we do during that process. And that allows me to grow the company. So if you're interested in a part-time job, this is the best.
In Mid-City, Ken McCoy, FOX54 News.
That's pretty fascinating how we get the behind-the-scenes look of this fireworks show. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much, Ken. That'll do it for this edition of the Week in Review. Remember to watch your daily headlines on Fox 54 News at 5:30 and 9. Have our app handy for breaking news, weather, and sports. I'm Kenesha Dees. See you next time.